All right, what about now? This makes no sense. I had to switch to my my camera mic. I don't get why my default line ain't working because that's what I'm plugged into. The weird thing, this was working just fine before I started.
That is weird.
I'll just use my webcam video mic then. It seems to be coming in all right. Realtek mic's coming in better. It's weird because I use these headphones every time we live stream.
Maybe try a different port.
I did. I switched to the back,
Hmm.
but what you know how it shows our mic in our little picture window.
Yep. You know,
Before I started, it was showing it just fine.
and I don't see you down below. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Well, what's the topic of the night?
Oh, I've got a few topics. Mainly, first topics I'm going to address up our Representative Jim Jordan here. For the past couple weeks, he's been going on "Make America Free," this and that. Then he poses this question: 60 million orders or curfew, 11 million are right here in Ohio. What would the founders say? I think we both can agree this could be a loaded little question here. Get you put on list. But today I'm just in one of those moods. So I actually responded. Our, our founding fathers were very clear on this and what must happen. But how many Americans remember their history, and the youth under Common Core aren't taught our real history? I know what John and Edward Rutledge said about this. But what do you say about it? You are a representative. Now, we all know we're not going to get a response from any of them. Then this is what brings up my point here. They're supposed to be our representatives. They're supposed to be our spokesmen. They're supposed to be our voice. But how many of these politicians actually represent us? Not a single one. We see it with our Congress every day. You know what I think is funny, guys? Well, it's not funny. It just shows how out of skew our priorities are. And I think it's sad. Let's use the word sad. That's a better term for it. That people can go to and watch football games, but they can't attend church in their own congregation, in their own churches. More people are willing to give up their rights to go to their freedom of religion to go worship in their church, but yet we'll go to a football game.
Yeah.
Which makes this little what would the founders say question kind of mute.
Well, you saw the news today, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, out of Wisconsin. Um, I haven't seen it in writing yet, but they have allegedly passed. If you have been tested and tested positive after your quarantine and you have been medically cleared, you can be sentenced to, now this is just hearsay, I've not seen it in writing yet, so this is strictly third-party news so far, but you can be sentenced for 15 to 21 days home confinement via electronic monitoring, plus the $1,000 setup fee, $400 a week monitoring fee,
Oh yeah, you got to pay that.
not negotiable. And if you violate that, that goes under the same thing as absconding from a condition of the court, also called what? Under what crime? I believe that's bail jumping or absconding from
It's absconding. Well, actually, they can go farther than absconding. They can actually hit you with escape.
and because it is connected to the pandemic, they can actually go under domestic terrorism.
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody paid attention to what Biden said in
Now,
his little briefing about fully initiating FEMA, I mean, what we're looking at is no different. I'm going to cut you off for a bit because I ain't done ranting on Ohio yet. You guys know my favorite little saying, right? About censorship. Well, here's what I got to say about this curfew. You know what you can do with your curfew. This is towards Governor Mike DeWine. You know what you can do with your curfew. Set and spin when you reach the elbow, the ride's over, bitch. You're killing small businesses and putting more people out of jobs. This is not a third world country. Remember that. You're a defunct governor. You violated our Constitution. I don't have to listen to you. Nobody does. And that's under the articles of our Constitution.
now, when did this curfew go into place?
It's been in place since November. Well, it's been in place for a while. He started it right before Thanksgiving, or was it Halloween? But he just now extended it. Curfew is extending the 10 o'clock p.m. to 5 a.m. statewide curfew for another 3 weeks until January 23rd, which we weren't supposed to be off it till like the 3rd, I think, again. He extended it over the holidays. But, this is because we don't yet know the effect the holidays may have on our hospitals and healthcare systems. So we must continue to be, and I'm not even going to get into reading the rest of it because it's garbage. What they're trying to do, they're trying to stop people. They're killing small businesses. They're killing restaurants.
Oh, I have. Where is?
Oh, but wait, it gets even better. While I'm dissing on the state of Ohio, let's diss on the state of California. State of California made their lockdowns indefinite this week.
Oh, they did go there.
But yet everybody's okay with that. Everybody's okay with giving away your freedoms. Everybody's okay because, we all joke, laugh about, people that talked about police state. Guess what you're living in? If you're under a curfew, you're living in a police state. If you're under a lockdown, you've given your rights away. You've given your freedoms away. You're bowing down. Can we move around about? Yes, some people say, well, we can move around about after the hours of 5 a.m. to 10.
All right, I'm going to
How many people are planning on going to D.C. on the 6th?
I'm going to send you something I want you to watch after this. I think this is very. I just got out of roughly 2 hours of all right, but this is something I want you to watch later. I think this will explain what DeWine is doing. I want you to watch it. It's good. This lady knows exactly what she's talking about. Don't put it up on the screen, whatever you do.
Oh, I won't. I'll catch it later.
You
know, that's the part that's been bothering me. I think the most part that's bothered me the most is seeing all the Christians and all these and all the religions. It's not Christians. Every religion out there can't attend their places of worship.
What I
find, and mind you, there was a big case won in the Supreme Court about that against New York. New York has to open up the churches. So there was a big case finally won in a Supreme Court. I don't know if it was the state Supreme Court or our actual Supreme Court, but it was a Supreme Court ruling that Como cannot restrict people from going to their houses of worship. So, there is small leaps and bounds, but that's not getting talked about. And we see how these governors are doing it. I live in a state that says fuck the Supreme Court every day of the week. In fact, at the end of this year, there'll be over 30,000 cases heard in the Supreme Court that the Supreme Court's already made a ruling on unconstitutional, but Ohio will not change their law. Because Ohio has almost the most prisons in the United States. It used to be the top. It's not the top no more, but our prison industry has become a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And they know if we keep violating people and sending them back, because under our new law, they'll send you back up to half your time if you violate, which that's not how, it's an old federal law. You know what I'm talking about. And the feds got rid of it because the Supreme Court told them they had to, because it was unconstitutional. If you do your time day for day, or even with good time, there's no such thing anymore here in the state of Ohio, you cannot be put on probation. And or can you be sent back for half the time you've already served, because you already served a full sentence. But they do it all the time. And it keeps putting money into the prison system, and all those that are invested in that. How long before they start telling us, well, you want to go into Walmart, we need to see papers. We need to see documentations that you're vaccinated. How far are we going to allow this to go? Our Congress couldn't give us $2,000. They're still fighting over it. Well, we'll give you $6. Shut up. Be happy. But we'll give all these foreign countries almost $1 billion worth of money going to foreign countries. Egypt, Pakistan. And the list went on and on the farther you delved into it.
What?
Why are we giving these countries? I like what somebody said. Why don't you take that money that you're giving to Pakistan and give it to St. Jude's for children's cancer? Or if you're so worried about the COVID and the vaccines, why don't you put all that money there?
Right.
But no, they don't want to do that. Only thing they're doing, they're getting rich. They're going to find a way, because most of them, believe it or not, it's no longer the big oil tycoons. It's the big pharma tycoons. It's the big tech tycoons. They got all their investment in tech and pharmaceuticals. So now they're going to make millions off this. I read a study during this year, during the pandemic, there was 56 new billionaires, or millionaires, whatever. Million or billionaires, it don't really matter. But none of them came from the middle class. They were already rich during the pandemic. So we all know none of us made money like that over the pandemic.
Nope.
In fact, we've lost more money. Nothing's gotten cheaper. Everything's gotten more expensive. That punk ass 99 cents little bottle of sanitizer you get everywhere in the gas station is now like $3.
And to find the good stuff, you pay much more. Now, I want to bring something up since that ties into these big since you mentioned the big box stores. I was out to Hellmart today, and cash registers are starting to vanish.
Well, yeah.
And then as soon as we got out the door and got in the van, I was told by my friend that was in shopping with me that the store over near her, about 20 minutes from her, that they even have a sign on the door that the store is cashless because of an alleged cash shortage.
Which we've been talking about that cash shortage almost all year.
But
coins, cash, but it's been started out as coins, but eventually it's going to go to cash. Considered most places you can't even cash a $50 bill.
But in fact, today I cashed a check and I got, now you're a very smart individual. What month of the year do they release the currency for the next year's date stamp? What month of the year do they do that?
I think they start rolling some of it out as early as November.
Because reason why I ask is I got several crisp 2021 crisp $20 bills, uncirculated.
Yep.
These were brand spanking new.
Well, I mean, if you paid it, I don't know about your Walmart. I know when I walked into mine yesterday, because I had to go get a script for, I don't know, I can't even pronounce the name of it, but it's only 2 pills, but they calm me so they can pull my teeth. Since Tuesday was a big epic failure.
Oh boy. I wondered how you were why you were able to talk.
Well, it didn't matter. I was supposed to go tomorrow, and that got canceled until next week. It's like, oh great, when I'm back to work. That's why I set things up the way I set it up for this week. But oh well, that's life. As long as it gets done, that's all I care.
But it gets even better. You know how on a lot of these smartphones, it doesn't matter what brand of phone you got, whether you got Droid or Apple, they all have these virus detect, and when you update, some of these will actually auto engage. Are you aware of that?
Oh, I've been aware of that.
It actually works.
Just like a lot of your phones, you can take the battery and the SIM card out of it. It's still got a fucking backup in it.
But now, her and I both rock the Apple, but now mine, I didn't get the alert. Hers did, and I was closer to the individual Because I do have an autoimmune. I have to be a little bit more on the careful side, and because of the nature of my work and the people that I rub shoulders with, I have to be extremely careful. So I don't have a choice, but when I go out, I'm basically required to wear a mask. It's not even an option at this point. But I found that very, very interesting. But I think once you see that video, what you're seeing out of Ohio,
Oh, it's
and
everywhere. It's just not Ohio, Michigan. They're all doing it.
Wisconsin ain't far behind.
I mean, I know some states, they're actually, if you got out of state tags, you're getting pulled over and they're asking, have you quarantined for 14 days? If not, either you quarantine 14 days or you're being escorted off across that state line. Let's talk about freedom, your freedoms. This is the other thing they're pushing. Like I said, this year's been nothing but a fear propaganda. And not only has it been a fear propaganda, everything's been used to further divide us.
I would agree with that.
We got groups that think and believe everything they're told, that, oh, you got to have a mask. Somebody posed a good question today. If these masks are so important or so contagious, let me use the proper word. If this virus is so contagious and we have to wear a mask, therefore the mask is now contagious, why isn't there biohazard bins for the mask to be discarded in?
Here's another good one for you. I was standing in line waiting for my meds, and an elderly gentleman, probably 10 to 15 years older than me, came in, and he asked the pharmacist, he was like, he goes, I seen on TV that Walmart has been selected as one of the facilities that will be handing out doing the vaccines. When can I schedule my appointment? Because I need to get that in before I go on vacation here in a couple of weeks. And this man was so pilled and so head up on getting this vax that he would not take no for an answer from even the director on the floor, who was number 2 in the department. He wouldn't take her word for it. He was like, she had to go and pretty much say, if you have a question about our vaccine program, please feel free to either contact the store manager or call our Bentonville office and discuss it with them, and they'll be able to answer all of your requests or your questions that you might have about this, and you can feel free to discuss this in full, or you can contact your physician if you feel that your life is in danger.
But yet,
and he's
you
like,
know how hard it is to get a hold of your physician? It's almost impossible.
Actually, no, it's not that hard out here, but
no, it's very. A lot of people in a lot of places are having a hard time just getting hold of their normal physicians. It's
But
gotten to that point.
I thought it was like, dude, how selfish and self-centered can you possibly get just so you can go on vacation, that you gotta do this? You're putting hundreds of thousands of people ahead of you. That doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfectly good sense. The thing
Yeah,
about what you just said is, does it sound like that physician's worried about COVID if he's going on vacation with his family?
this guy ain't even a physician. He's a retired newsprint or news type setter, and he's going off on a fishing trip that he's been planning for 10 years. It just so happens that it's falling in the middle of this situation that is going on. And I'm thinking, dude, chances are where you're going, that plane probably ain't even going to take off, because where you're going, they've already closed their borders anyway. And so I'm like, dude, you're an idiot on a mission. And I was like, your selfishness is so self-defeating. Maybe you should just pack up and leave and don't ever come back. But it's,
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Most of these people don't care.
no.
But they expect us to bow down and live in fear, not go places, not go attend a New Year's Eve ball, not to go outside. Pennsylvania just put down some of the strictest restrictions and the dumbest restrictions I've ever heard of on their state.
I
It's
missed that
gotten
one.
ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's more ridiculous than what we got in Ohio. It comes to a point where I do agree with what Jim Jordan said, except for, okay, if you're asking the question, then be like our founding fathers and stop being all talk and start doing something about it. Start putting the other senators out there. Start putting people out there. Start telling truth. You know what? I agree with some people. You know what? Want to know what the greatest monkey wrench Trump could do before he leaves office? Declassify everything.
I seen something about something that was stuck in the stimulus bill that I thought was something that many of us have been saying for a very long time.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I want to shift gears up before you get to that. No, I know what they were voting. The Senate today was battling back and forth over the stupid national defense bill. And this shows you. I'm gonna piss people off. I'm sick and tired of hearing it's Republicans, it's Democrats. No, they're not. They're rich elitist bastards who don't give a fuck about you. They use their labels to lie to you so you vote for them and deceive you with them and divide us. These very same people stood in front of Congress last year and pulled fucking YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Google in there was bitching about censorship, but yet when they got a chance to finally put these tech companies in their place, because that's part of what they're trying to stop. That's why Trump vetoed it, because he wants it in there. He wants these companies held accountable. He wants you to be able to have your free speech. But these Republicans and these Democrats, oh, all of a sudden now we don't want that in that bill, because it was one of the things he amended in it. That should show you everything. You had fucking AOC come out this week, let's talk about influencing elections if I've ever heard one. But the little cupcake was right. You want your stimulus bill package? If you're so pushed to get stimulus package, vote Democrat in Georgia. How's that one for you? Because those two Democratic senators is what needs to get McConnell out of there. You know what I say? Don't do it. But how many people are going to say, I need more money. I'm hurting. You see the games they play? See the deceptions, how they use things to influence you? You know, people in Georgia, vote how you're going to vote. Vote with your hearts. Vote for the people that's going to represent you. If those people on that ballot are not going to represent you, don't vote Republican, don't vote Democrat. It shouldn't matter the label. It's about, are they going to uphold our Constitution? Are they going to fight for our rights? Are they going to do what they pledge? Because they take an oath. You know, and that's the other issue we have. You know, when the people fear their government, there is tyranny. When the government fears their people, there is liberty. Remember those Jeffersonian words. Because they don't fear us. Because there is no consequences. We can't remove a senator who violates his oath of office, who commits ethic violations, commits sedition, commits treason. Oh no, that's only their peers can do that. Only the fellow congressmen and congresswomen can hold somebody on those charges. There's only 7 states that can recall their senators. That should be every right to every people. We should have every right to recall our governors, recall to violate the oaths of office they stand for. No, we're too busy divided, pitted against each other. Oh, this pandemic, you need to wear a mask. Oh, we need to adhere to these curfews. We need to give away our freedoms. We need to stop going to church and worship. Because you know what? If that's your mentality, then your faith means nothing. Because you've just turned your back on your faith. You know, yeah, I'm going to be the asshole in the room that calls it for what it is. I remember growing up, attend church, trust in God, worship, praise, come Sunday, Wednesday, fellowship and worship. Put your faith in God. Don't put your faith in the state. Don't put your faith in government. But yet, so many. There's number one constitutional, the very first part of the Constitution, the freedom of religion. You've turned your backs on that. Where's the outrage? Where's the uproar? You think you're going to make a difference marching on DC on the 6th? When you have a mentality like that, what are you hoping to change? Because if you're not careful, you're going to play right into what they want you to do. You know, do I agree that something needs to be done? Oh, hell yeah. The future of America, it isn't 2 days from now. It isn't on the 6th. It's right here, right now, the choices we make. The choice, I'm going to have a fucking New Year's Eve party. I'm going to a New Year's party. Know what? If you're a pastor out there, a preacher, a priest, a priestess, whatever your label is for your religious community, open your doors. They tried to stop Christmas Mass, saying you can't go to Christmas Mass. How? Where have you? Has everybody here in the America became so spineless? Or am I right in what I said to Jim Jordan that most people have forgotten their history? I have not forgotten my history. I have not forgotten my family history and what my forefathers said. My forefathers said when they told him to abandon that fort, no, I will not abandon this fort. They cannot penetrate these walls with their cannonballs. And him and a few people that chose to stay while the army military left, they held that fort. They couldn't take that fort. Where is those American patriots? Where are those sons of liberties, sons and daughters of liberty? Why are you continuously bowing down, giving away your freedoms? When it's simple, when the unity of the American people say no, they have to listen. When we say we're going to open everything back up, you know, and the other thing that fucking pissed me off this week, how dare you fucking harm a vet because he's openly protesting. He's the one that's fucking fought for your fucking freedoms. Those cops that fucking arrested him and took him to the ground, those security officers that helped, should be ashamed of themselves.
Agreed.
All those that stood around and filmed it should be ashamed of yourselves. You should have done something about it. He has the right to express himself. He has the right to freedom of speech. He has the right not to wear a mask. He's, out of all of us, he's earned that fucking right. More than any of you, except for those that actually served on the front lines and know. I'm sick of hearing these politicians run their mouth with no action. I'm sick and tired of hearing, oh, we're for the American people, and sit there and do nothing for us. I'm sick of being told you can't do this. Well, fuck you. I do what I want. Referred to earlier. If you don't like it, set and spin. When you reach your elbow, the ride's over, bitch. I don't care. I'm a free man. I have my rights, my liberties. So to each and every one of you, it's time you learn them. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
It's all good. My squirrel moment kicked in. It been kind of a long day, but you know, it's what I'm seeing is so many stepping up and trying to do whatever it is that they can possibly theorize to me kill Twitter too. So I can pay attention just in case somebody pops in the chat.
Oh, we only got 2 viewers.
Yeah, you and me.
Yeah.
Um,
I've pushed my luck the past week.
You know,
I
my
figured I'm pretty much well on restriction and shadow ban and everything else.
yeah, you and me both. But you know, my thought is that mute we're buffering.
Yeah, we're buffering on an excellent connection.
Yeah, boy.
And that's what my studio is telling me. Excellent connection while we were buffering.
And Dabu had the same problem tonight too.
Over on D Live?
Yep.
Imagine that.
He actually got shut down.
Well, well, go read their all you got to know about D Live, go read their terms of service and guidelines. They're no different than fucking YouTube, or none of them are. I don't care what they claim to be.
Right, but it was just kind of it's all week. It's been kind of a strange week in general, but as I stated on our last live stream, if you remember, you may not remember, because you had a couple COVID killers too many, maybe.
Oh no, I remember.
I told you that, and the rest of those who watched, that it would be somewhere between Christmas and New Year's that the new strain would be here. Did I not?
Well, yeah. Colorado was the first state, and by the way, guys, what was released on that one was he hasn't ever traveled out of the United States.
And
today, California.
Yep. So it makes you.
You know,
it makes
I think some people might think I don't believe that, the coronavirus isn't as bad as it is, or it don't kill. I know very well it kills. I have lost just yesterday my uncle in Brazil to it, and a couple cousins. I've lost about 6-7 people from it. So yes, I do know it's a real thing, but it's just like the flu. How many people do we lose a year from the flu?
And here's another thing that they let accidentally slip out this morning. And I don't normally watch Good Morning America, but I had some extra time today, so I watched the first half hour or so, and they let it slip out. You remember that nurse that actually collapsed after getting the shot? She has not been seen. Her social media sites have been dormant.
Yeah, I remember.
She has had no post. Her phone has been stagnant as well. What do we make of this? Last place she was seen at was at that hospital.
And we're buffing again.
That's just yeah, you just had you got a white or grayish logo. Now you're yellow. That's just weird. Now you're red.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of weird connection issues.
But
yeah, I've got according to I've got an solution going on. So, but you were coming in a couple times there too, and yeah, there's the warning. And I've been doing last couple weeks podcasts. We've not had these issues.
No,
when we finally turn around, we sis, which I could have been serious at any given time, no matter how much I drank.
This is weird. We've not had this problem since you've been back. You've had rock solid connection since you've been back.
Yeah, that's why I've been steadily using the mines and not my OBS, which I've completely eradicated from this computer for the moment.
But I mean, it's Zoom. There's something up with Zoom.
Well, yeah, Chinese spyware.
But there's something afoot. I just cannot, and it's unlike me to be able to put my finger on it.
Well, I mean, I can put the finger on it.
I mean, well,
I mean, let's keep it real. People are planning on fucking marching on fucking DC on the 6th. President Trump is calling for people to amass in DC on the 6th. We have YouTubers such as Tim Pool talking about revolutionary. Although in Tim Pool's defense, he's talking about, will it be a revolutionary aspect? He doesn't think so, but we do have people talking about it.
Well,
we have fucking other streamers out there that are going gun ho, and you know what? Maybe it is the time to go gun ho on these subjects. Maybe it's time to remind people what they have given up this year before this year ends. Maybe it's time to really delve into what is election fraud. What is influencing elections? Well, I can point out AOC's tweet of what is influencing elections when you tell people in general in Georgia to vote Democrats if they want their $2,000 stimulus check. In fact, that is borderline trying to buy an election, which is illegal.
But let's break this down.
In the next hour?
No, I'm not going to be up that late.
No, seriously. We got 3 minutes.
Then I'm going to break this down real quick. You cannot have a revolution without love, a love for something. So
you can't have a revolution when we're this divided.
Exactly. But in order to have that, you must have love for something. And people have got to find that love somewhere, somehow, some way, and they better do it. PD fucking Q. That's just the way it is. Somebody who's been around the block a time or 10, I just got to put it out there.
We got to have love and unity. We got to break the divisions that they've so discorded amongst the American people, divided us in so many fucking ways, and it ain't even funny.
But I mean that's part of.
And this marching on DC and what Trump's calling for, I agree with him on certain aspects of it, but it also further sets the divide.
And that's what I'm saying, without love and unity, all that's going to do is create a visceral hatred, a hate-filled collide that is going to get a lot of innocent people caught in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives all sides what they want.
And when you give all sides what they want, let's clarify that before we lose time. All sides isn't representing we the people side. We're the losing side of that.
Always are. But let's try this again tomorrow. Or shit, you got to go back to work tomorrow, don't you?
No, I'm off till Sunday, which I
Uh,
need to get back. I need to get a hold of Soap Point 9 because he misunderstood me. I go back to work this Sunday.
All right, let's try this tomorrow earlier if possible.
What? We're not
Um,
gonna ring the New Year's in?
um, like I said, tomorrow.
I'm gonna keep going.
Because I've been going since a 4:45 this morning, and
It was gone.
but in all seriousness though, if people don't find some common ground that they can unify on, this country is the new kid on the block. We are the baby on the block. Russia has been around over 1,500 years. China has been around for over 3,000 years. And Europe has been around for, or the UK, Europe has been around for what, 1,200 years plus?
Plus,
13,
yeah,
1,300 years.
Medieval times.
So, you know, we're the babies on the block here. And in coming up on 250 years, we're still living like Thelma and Ugg. Come the fuck on. Brute force and ignorance obviously ain't working. So if we don't come up with a something else, I don't see any other way that we're going to go here very, very well, very fast. Ordinarily I'm the practical optimist. The glass is half full. But when I look at everything, I look at all the signs, I look at the divine numerics, I look at the history and the cycles of world powers, and the numbers and the stars and the planets, they're all aligning at a specific time. And because we're the proverbial new kid on the block, we're not all that in a box of fucking ho-hos. And sooner or later, some of these other countries that are much larger than us and have a much larger force than us are simply going to get tired of it, and they're going to do something stupid.
Well, yeah, I mean, a nation that's divided is easy to conquer.
It cannot stand.
No, but that's what united. I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance. They took it out of all the schools. Why? Well, united we stand, divided we fall. They've done so much.
They
to
took
strip us
that out.
all of our freedoms, all of our liberties, and now they're just ever so more finding seeing what they can take. They're not giving nothing back. They're not letting you choose. If you want to choose to wear a mask, I'd be fine with that. But don't bitch at other people because they choose not to wear it. You're wearing a mask, so therefore you should be protected.
They took
Isn't
it
that what they're
out.
telling you?
Actually, it's because I do have a medical disclaimer um that I could use if I so wanted to, but um yeah, at one point just 6 weeks ago we were pushing 600 cases. Um
But
and
I've got this. I've heard that song and dance just like here in Ohio. The cases keep going up, but yet I've known people that's had the flu, but they label it when they report it in. They report it as COVID, not the flu.
actually I know where the source of where well over half of these cases came from, and I know that the person that the senior most officer at that installation, and I seen the records, and given the fact that it was a correctional facility, um you know how they treat correctional facilities.
Yeah, ground
Um,
zero beta tests.
yeah, it's pretty much, and the fact that they have over 100 guards living on the property within the fence itself. What happens when you have guards living within the fence too? Guess what? They're going to get it too.
But we've
And
had, and this has been documented, well documented. We've had the CDC come back twice this year and recorrect their numbers, lowering the numbers of cases.
actually,
We've
4 times. They just did it again Friday.
and we've had people come out there flat out say, yes, the numbers are inflated. So, who knows? Nobody knows. That's the point. But yet they'll use that, and it goes back to let's use Biden's favorite slogan. I rely on science. So you rely on the scientists that you and your group of people pay, or shareholders that you or shares that you have in these pharmaceuticals and these medical companies, like Bill Gates has dumped millions into pharmaceuticals for the vaccine. So who's going to make millions and millions of dollars off the vaccine? Yeah, those who have shares in these pharmaceutical companies. Guess what? Not us.
You know, I was
And
uh,
they buy their scientists, and their scientists say this. When you have scientists that say the other thing, oh, that's inaccurate, or they don't give them the airtime, or they don't because they don't have the funding or money to be able to make their claims.
there was, not to dig up old hat, but I I do believe that because he owns um mega shares in AstraZeneca, um ain't that like a conflict of interest?
Yeah,
Because he's getting paid from the federal government for this, and then for every shot that is administered, he's getting paid too. Um, but when there was a name, um, think back to 2014, 2015, there was a black scientist who always wore a creepy bow tie that mysteriously went missing. and was later found deceased.
Yep.
What was he working on? What project?
Oh, I can't remember.
I'll give you 3 guesses. You probably won't only need but one.
I honestly can't remember, so.
I'll tell you tomorrow. But my happy ass has been going since before 5 o'clock, and I've been running like a chicken with my head cut off. I am going to go try and commune with my pillow, if I can find it, because I probably got 2 or 3 cats laying on it, because it's like colder than shit here. And considering I have to be up before 8 o'clock tomorrow, it's gonna be a real early day. Give me a call. I would say like around 5, 6 tomorrow, like right after you have supper. You think you'll be up by then?
Oh, I'll be up by then. I got some running I gotta do. I gotta get groceries and stuff.
Do that early in the day because you have another round of storms coming.
Yeah, so they say.
Um,
I don't believe much in our weather forecasters around here. They never get nothing right. Like, we're supposed to be like 1 inch, and we got 3 inches in an hour. They can't predict the weather around here for shit.
we got about 8.
And what they're predicting for tomorrow is pretty much all we got all the day. More rain.
Friday, they're saying freezing rain here, so.
Like I said, it's Ohio. You can't predict the weather.
But
Can't predict when it's gonna be freezing cold or fucking warm one for the next day.
amen to that. But hit me up when you get back, so we can start formulating a game plan, and I'll start pulling some tabs up and saving some headlines and some bullet points, so I have them up and on the computer, and be a lot more organized for tomorrow night. And I suppose I'll have, yeah, I'm going to try.
Since when is this channel ever organized?
Well, we're going to get organized because we're going to bring in 21, like white on rice. We can always.
Ramblings of the Chaotic Mind. I'm never organized.
We can always.
I just go where the conversation leads.
We can always do audio tests.
Yeah, I gotta fix that. I gotta figure out why all of a sudden for some reason my mic didn't want to work tonight.
That's what I say. We'll hook up earlier.
Not that I don't have backups.
Right, but we'll meet early enough so that we can in the gathering, so that we can.
That's the part I didn't get because my mic worked just fine until I went live.
We can always set a video up private and test it there too.
So I don't know what happened. I don't think like I said, it was working just fine until I went live. And I went live and I didn't even know it because I do all my tests before I go live. It's something I learned from Jaffe.
Right.
You know, we do all of our mic checks because I have access to. Well, I mean, if I have to, I plug my Yeti in.
Right, but
I know obviously my webcam mic works just fine. My computer's mic works just fine. Just today, my headphones mic didn't want to work.
We'll figure it out tomorrow.
Which works just fine because I was talking on the phone earlier.
We'll figure it out tomorrow.
But then again, I haven't had these many technical issues and issues with the stream buffering and stuff.
You'll get it all
It's the
figured
first
out.
in a while.
We'll get this all figured out tomorrow. I need to get out of
I
here.
already got it figured out. First time I decided to actually post something serious.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
the fact I've been fucking hammering away on fucking Twitter today.
Yeah, it figures. It's there are a few other people that
Well,
they-
like you said, few people, Dabu and them having issues. You know, it's that time of the year. You know, and that's the other thing I'm going to slightly get into. Why you're, you know, you don't think it's not going to get. You think it's going to get better? It's probably going to get worse. They're going to do a little bit more cracking down to eliminate the spread of information and stop people from gathering. I know a few people's got their Twitter accounts nuked in the past week. A few more people on Facebook and YouTube.
As long as we are on the serious side, one of the things that a little teaser for tomorrow, I don't know if I can find it now or not. Oh, there it is. It's right at the bottom. Copy. I'm going to drop this in the sidebar. This is one of the things we're going to hit for tomorrow. And we're going to go.
The other thing I haven't got into, the little Dominion thing.
The
little raid that took place in Germany.
Yeah, I can't
with the Dominion thing.
I can't talk about that I can't go into Dom at all. I can't discuss that topic at all.
Oh, I figured, but you know, I do find it interesting that like right after that happened, the Pentagon ceased its communications with Biden.
But it's
but you know, that's beside
right.
the point.
But read that think that little ditty that I just sent you tonight or tomorrow. Read it real. You're legally smart. Read that bugger tightly. And just FYI, our graphics where our pictures are like extremely fuzzy.
They look fine to me.
On the mines are crystal clear, but on the tubes they are like blur. Oh, okay. I just refreshed and now they're back to Q5 again, but that's weird. But check out that little ditty that I just sent you. I think you'll find it very interesting. How the wording of the terminology is.
Oh, I mean, I don't find any terms of service fucking wording. I mean, everybody knows my opinion on TOS. It's bullshit.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. You're gonna love this one. This one is maybe one of the most aggressive that I've seen to date. I mean, it's bad.
Well, I mean, all TOSs, they all have their little fine print about subject to change at any time, and guess what? They don't have to tell you. It's on you to daily check them.
It's this one is maybe one of the most egregious. But we'll talk about it tomorrow night.
Oh, it ain't egregious. I recognize the term wording in that already. Ning followed the same same thing before they stole that. Yeah, end up fucking going belly up and selling out, and selling out, and selling out. I don't know who owns them now.
That our cameras and microphones,
Yeah.
they don't own them.
Oh, yes, they do.
Where's my check for the
Right. But they do. Any content you post on any site with that type of wording, they own. Even if it is copyrighted by you. We ended up going round and around about with Ning over this. He got to the point. Remember, what was it? Not Scribd, but yeah, it was Scribd. Scribd got to the point. If you as an author uploaded something to Scribd, or some of the stuff I had uploaded to Academia, on that, Ning forced us to take it down because they couldn't claim ownership on it, so therefore we could not post it. Because if it's on their website, if we put it on their platform, they have property rights to it. Then they tried to stop us with our images, because all my images are actually uploaded and protected. All the graphics that you see, like in the background, floating around, Sons and Daughters of Liberty or KOTR, any of those are actually uploaded and protected on DeviantArt. We designed them, we created them, you know. And yes, there's two of us that own the rights to these. So yeah, we got backlash for all kinds of stuff about that, because, well, it's using the tools. All these platforms are tools. As a graphics designer, I needed a place that's going to protect my shit. As a website builder, when I was doing that, I needed a place that was going to protect my graphics, protect my stuff, because you can't protect code, can't copyright code. Technically, you can't even copyright intellectual property. What we do here on YouTube is intellectual property.
Yeah, it's getting well, actually there is a way to do it, but there's a fine line and it's not exactly cheap.
No, it's not.
But it's the best way, and it makes it extraordinarily difficult to also catch a copyright on it too.
Oh yeah.
But then again, it's not YouTube. It's not our tube. It's not necessarily our platform anymore.
No, it's never been our platform.
It's just we play in their sandbox.
It's just like Gab is not our platform, or none of them are. That's the illusion of it. Exactly. We play in their sandbox.
But
we're allowed. No, rephrase. We are allowed to play in their sandbox,
at least for the moment.
Yes.
But on that note, folks, it is 11:30. About 4 hours past my bedtime. So I'm going to bounce out of here. I will catch up with you tomorrow. When you hit me up on the back channel. So we can move into the back room here and get things working straight. And what time you think we'll go live tomorrow night?
I don't know. This is me you're asking. Don't never ask me time. I'll tell you exactly what I tell everybody when I get there. But I will say we are doing our podcast tomorrow night.
All righty.
And now if I say that, that's giving me pretty much, I'll give you my word. And my word spot. Short of me fucking being deathly sick or in the hospital or something, we're doing a podcast.
Okay, so
I
in other
didn't
words, I should probably um
stock
go.
up on alcohol.
Oh no.
It's New Year's Eve.
You don't want me bombed off my ass. Because
I mean, I'm rocking in the New Year. I don't give a fuck.
I you know, I have slept underneath a desk or two in my day. I just choose not to want to sleep underneath this desk. I have yet to sleep underneath this desk. And I'd like to keep it that way. I might have an alcoholic beverage in the freezer. Maybe two, and I might have a. Come to think of it, I think I might have a jar underneath the sink yet somewhere. I just got to go looking, and it's going to be 05 or older, so you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's stuff you could probably run your truck on. Not sure it's going to run long, but you could probably make it into town on it. Not sure you're going to make it back home, though. But I will catch up with you tomorrow. How late are you going to run tonight?
Oh, I'm just gonna finish out maybe this last hour.
All righty.
I ain't going for hour 3.
All right. I'll be listening to you while I pass out. But I will catch you tomorrow night. Folks, I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Y'all have a great one. Peace, love, and light. I am out of here, y'all. Good night, everybody.
But yeah, guys, you know, the future of America is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not the 6th. It is starting right now. It's starting. It should have started a long time ago for most of you. Back when they started trying to strip you of your rights. You know, I've seen so many businesses go under. I've seen farmers hurt this year from this. It's just gotten to the point where we sat idly by for too long. We've been quiet for too long. We observed, we've seen, now it's time to take some sort of action, whether it's uniting all together and saying, fuck you. We're going to open up our businesses. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, don't. We're not going to enforce it. We're going to start bringing our economies back up because that's what we can do. And we're going to stop allowing these corrupt politicians to think that they are our voice without repercussions. You know, obviously, there's a huge mistrust in the voting system. You know what? There's been a huge mistrust in the voting system since I can remember. I've even stated it on here. You know, does your vote really matter? Does it really count? No, because your state's going to give your vote to the other party if the other party wins. So, no, the Electoral College, it's always been a fidgety thing. There's a reason why it's in place. If you want a real, legit voting system, we got to go back. We got to take a page out of history where every vote counts. Not where, like the state of Michigan, 3 cities changed the whole vote. Where everything else was red, you had 3 cities that turned blue and gave the election to Biden. That said, everybody in these other counties, your vote doesn't matter. No, their vote should matter. Does matter. We got to make changes. We've got to start putting people in office that's going to stand up and make these changes. Jim Jordan, you claim you want to make America free again? Start being a representative and start demanding these changes take place. You want to fix the electoral system or the voting system that is clearly broken. It's been broken. And this time we make every single vote count. A president wins by the majority, by the most votes, period. Not by an electoral college from each state giving the votes of every citizen of that state, no matter what they voted for, to their chosen winner. And we have the technology this day. You know, you can't really trust technology because it can be hacked, manipulated. But we got to move forward. We got to start bringing new ideas on how to fix these problems. And a lot of that starts with replacing every last one of these congressmen and women. Removing them from office. It's up to us to start taking our state's legislation back, our federal legislation back. It's up to us to stop letting them divide us, find unity. And it's definitely time to put a fucking end to sending millions and millions of dollars to all these countries that hate us. I've been sick of that. You know, we got our own problems here in the United States. We've got a homeless pandemic that is out of this world. You don't see the politicians crying about that. That's our national crisis and pandemic. We got suicide rates that's through the roof. We've got people out there that can't even get medical because they can't afford it. We've got people out there that are still living to check by check and still not making ends meet, accumulating debt just to survive. But that's what our politicians want. Here, take this measly $600. It's not going to pay off most people's, even their lowest credit card bill. Quit looking towards celebrities for answers. Quit looking towards our politicians for answers. You're the answer. Our community is the answer. You know, like I said, I am two-way street on the fucking sixth thing. But I see that being a shit show from the get rip. I see them going to do, one side's going to do everything in their power to stop it, and some of it's going to probably be both sides. Because everyone knows what's at stake. But how is that going to help us? As we pointed out earlier, that's going to just add fuel to the fire. It's going to further divide people. And that's what we got to stop. You know, we preached on this channel forever about division. What's diversity? Key derivative, division. Basic English 101. We've got to find unity. We got to find common ground. If I can find common ground with Christians with their places of worship, that's the simplest start. Because that's not freedom of religion is our first part of our Constitution, freedom of speech. Yet we hesitate on even those aspects. Now we have states telling us we can't go to our places of worship? That should be caused an outrage. But we go to watch a football game. Buffalo Bills announced they're going to allow them to have almost a full stadium of fans, but you can't go to your churches. Well, technically right now in New York, you should be able to go to your churches because the federal courts or Supreme Courts ruled on that. It's Cuomo. He was violating the Constitution. He has to allow the churches to reopen. But we all know how states do. I live in one of the states that breaks the Constitution every day. And Supreme Court's told them time and time again, what you're doing is unconstitutional, but they will not change the law. Hence, our fucking state, our governor is a habitual offender. Huh. Imagine that. Easiest way to get DeWine, go after him in a legal court as a habitual offender. Why? Because he's violated the Constitution. He's violating the Supreme Court's rule. He refuses to change the law on the ground on what they call the new law here for people to get sent to prison. If they do their time, full time, they're put on probation. If they violate that probation, they're sent back to half their time. But the Supreme Court has ruled that's unconstitutional. You cannot do that. You cannot place them on probation. But they keep doing it. It was an old federal law. The fact, the state, their excuse when they passed that law back in the 90s was, this is going to help to get those that are under the old law out sooner. You know what they were doing? Yep. Oh, take another 10 years. Step off another 5. Step off another 8. Still maxing those people out. So it did not decrease the prison population. In fact, it increased it. They removed all the education from the system. So they can't get an education. They can't get trade, how to learn a trade so they can come out and be a productive citizen. No, the only thing they're allowed to learn is how to be better criminals. That way they can keep making money off them. Now they're treating every single American citizen like you're a criminal. You're under a curfew. You're under a lockdown. Oh, you own a salon. If you can't be open. If you want to do that, we're going to arrest you. Now we're going to fine you. Now we're going to take your liquor's license away. We're going to take your business license away. You know who did that? Third world dictators. Hitler. Where's your freedom? Where's your liberty? Where's your common ground that you're not going to take it anymore? The question was posed by Jim Jordan, what would our forefathers say about this? They wouldn't say shit. They were about action. They wouldn't take it, not for 1 second. And many of them didn't even after we won the Revolutionary War, got our independence. There was many knuckle fist fights inside of Congress. Bare knuckle fights. There was dueling. There was consequences to their actions. Now, our governments, our congressmen have no consequences. Oh, we live in this state that's a solid Democrat. That's why Pelosi will be elected every time, no matter if anybody runs against her. Mitch McConnell, same way. All these, they've become career politicians. You know what? Yes, I believe firmly. And this is something my forefather did not believe, because he did not foresee because then it was only 13 states. So yes, there's some ways we do have to look at things. But if he would have first saw and seen what is happened to our government and our Congress, elected congressmen and representatives, oh no, he would have made sure in that Constitution and those Bill of Rights that there would have been set term limits for these congressmen, so they couldn't run amok, so they couldn't become greedy. Our Congress has become no more better than the fucking Senate of Rome. In fact, they've become worse. You notice during the pandemic, they were so quick to open up sports. Why? Because it's the great Colosseums of Rome. It's a way to appease and quiet the masses, give them something to do, something to watch, something to root for, something to take their mind off things. It's also a distraction. Here, look over here so you're not seeing what we're doing. You guys got to wake up. The writing's been on the wall. It's been on the wall for several decades. You know, look at the price of gas right now. It's $2.35 and above. But yet, we've seen gas prices as low as $1.26 this year. Haven't seen those prices since the 90s. You know, there's just so much that's gone on. There's so much that's taken place. And I get it. People are tired. People are scared. People don't know what to think anymore. You know what? You know what you need to be thinking? For yourselves. You know what you need to be doing? Questioning, asking yourselves, is this right? Is it right for them to tell me I can't go worship in my church? Is it right for them to tell me that I need to curfew myself between the 10 hours of 10 and 5? Things can get much worse, guys. What's going to happen when they decide that every citizen needs vaccinated? If you do not, you're not going to be able to go to work. You're not going to be able to go to the store to get groceries. Are we going to let it come to that? You're going to need papers to travel. You know, we are in some dangerous times. Probably the most dangerous times this country's faced since its beginning. And we need to tread carefully. We need to think. We need to talk. We need to start using our voices. We need to start putting our differences aside, finding common ground, uniting. We need to stop letting them use the old cliches of racism to divide us. Stop using them, letting them use the labels to divide us. Republican, Democrat, Independent. You can only vote red. Red's not Republican, and red is not a person that represents the Constitution. It's not a person that is going to swear that oath to be your representative. They use that terminology, that label, as an illusion to control you, to make you vote that way. So all we got to do is say these words: I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm going to do this and this for you to get your vote. Well, guess what? That's violating the office of trust when they do that. And every one of them's done it. All these so-called Republicans that don't want you to have $2,000? Yeah. Where's the outrage on that? Are you still going to vote fucking red? Oh. I guess we'll vote blue now because the Dems are all for it. No, the Dems are all for getting what they want, which is the National Defense Bill passed with things emitted from it. It's all about what they want, not what you want, not what the president wants. And they're going to influence you in every which way to get your vote. Start seeing the wolves in sheep clothing for what they are. They're a pack of ravenous wolves that don't give a shit about you. They see you as fodder. You are nothing but slave labor. You're nothing but slave labor that needs to be controlled. They're the masters and you're the servants. That's how they look upon us. That's how they view us, and that's how they treat us. If you look at this past year, their actions have spoke volumes. The past 4 years, they've shed their snake skins and showed their true colors for what they are. Yet we overlook it. Oh no. Oh well, Trump's gonna win. Oh, guess what? He didn't. Guess what? All these Republicans that you're re-put in the office were taking your shit away to begin with. Guess what? Now they're really gonna take your shit away or deny you aid. Oh, we're going to give aid to these countries. You know, we've talked about this many a times. We've discussed how many of our politicians have actually sworn openly in Congress their allegiance towards Israel. Israel's not my fucking country. It's not their country, and it's definitely not the oath they've taken. Their only allegiance is to be America. Yes, we are allowed to have allies, but guess what? Allies come and go. Guess what doesn't come and go? Our fellow brothers and sisters. Our country. Our Americans. They do not come and go. They should always be put first and foremost, not another country. It's all right to help and aid another country in need if we have our affairs in order. We have not had our affairs in order for a very long time. If you don't believe me, research the homeless. Research the suicide rates. Research the prison systems. Research. Question. Think for yourselves. Don't let others think for you. If you need, take time, sit back, observe. Just watch. Keep your opinions to you. Don't even formulate your own opinions. Just watch and observe with an open mind. You'll be shocked what you see. And it will make you sick. It'll make you mad. It'll make you want to take action. You'll see how they play all sides. How they play. We're going to put these scientists, pay these scientists, and these are the ones we're going to take for fact. When you have others that dispute it, but yet they don't get the funding, and bet your bottom dollar that MSN, CBS, NBC, and all the so-called news entertainment organizations aren't going to cover the other side. But yet they release their work all the time. But when you quote from one of them, then it's, oh, that's not factual. Why? Because we have our own fact checkers. We pay our own fact checkers to fact check based on what? Oh yeah, how we view the status quo. So therefore, what you're fact checking is opinion that is based on a status quo system, not the real truth. You're not investigating other people's opinions. You know, everything's should be left up to interpretation, and everybody should have their own choice to choose what they believe. That's what, you know, being an American is about. Being an American is about the freedom of choice. You know, we choose. If you choose to listen to me, hey, you're doing better than what most people are. You're doing better than I couldn't even listen to me for an hour. I can't even listen to myself for a minute. So you're doing good. If you choose to go over here and listen to them, listen to them. It don't matter. As long as you're always questioning things, not taking what they say for concrete fact. Learn how to research. Most importantly, learn how to question and think for yourselves. No, we learn from each other. That's what this is supposed to be about. The beautiful about the thing I always found about this platform, I can interact with you in the chat and we can learn from each other. I can hear your opinions. I can invite you on here, listen to your opinions and views, and learn something. Might not agree with everything, but it gives me something to go further research on, to go question more about. Do I have it right? Do they have it right? But they don't want you to do that, because when you start doing that, guess what? You become free thinkers. You're a lot harder to control and manipulate. And they don't want that, because then they fear you. Then, as Jefferson so lovingly quoted, if the people fear their government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. There should be consequences. You know, there should be hearings and trials. When they break the law, they're no better than us. They have to abide by the same law because it applies to them just as much as it applies to us. We need to break that double standard that they so love to live by. And we need to remove the judges who have based their rulings on political bias because they have violated their office. They violated the oath of trust. It's time to get back to making this country great. It's time to take back our future before we lose the future of America. The future of America is right now. And you get to choose how that future goes. You can either choose to stand by and just let things run its course with the mentality, it's not worth fixing. I don't believe that. I think it is worth fixing. It's important that it be fixed because, I did a video a long time ago. We are the beacon to the world, that beacon of hope to the whole world. If they can quench that beacon, hope dies for the rest of the world. No other country has the freedoms that we have. There's many countries who are fighting for that very right to be just like us, to have those freedoms. But yet we're so willing to sit back and give it away. Have we become that much of a coward? Are you guys becoming true slaves to the masters? You rather give your voice and your freedoms away those are the questions you have to ask yourselves. What are you going to do? Are you finally going to stop sitting idly by and start using your voice? Start getting with your community, pulling your communities together, saying enough's enough. We're taking back our state. We're taking back our country. Yes, it's not going to be liked, and they are not going to like it, and there will be consequences to those actions. But there's consequences to every choice. The choice to do nothing ends with the death of America as we know it. No rights, no freedoms, no liberties. that's the choice you have to make. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am going to call it a night. This ain't going to be a marathon podcast. We'll save that for tomorrow, which I'll probably go live around 7. I don't know. You know, something to think about, guys. Tomorrow night, I'm sure we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But it was time to have a serious talk, a serious discussion. And I actually hope tomorrow brings more serious discussion before we get into 2021. I want to wish you all a good night. For those that are traveling, safe travels. For those who are actually going to go out and celebrate New Year's, if you're drinking, please have a designated driver. Be smart, because we need every single one of you. With that said, I will see you guys tomorrow.